Hello friends. Today we are going to talk about The Art of Letting Go by Nick Trent. Understanding yourself and giving up control is a very deep but extremely empowering experience. When we know ourselves, we realize what things we can control and what we cannot. Often we cling to past pain, unfulfilled expectations, and our own rigid identity in our life, which gives us only pain and stress. But when we learn to let go of them, a different kind of freedom comes inside us. It is human nature to want to run everything according to our own will. We feel that if we have complete control over any situation we will be happy, but the truth is that it is impossible to control everything in the world. Many times, people do not live up to our expectations, circumstances do not go according to our planning, and things do not happen as we thought. In such a situation, if we keep getting upset every time and keep cursing ourselves, then our mental health will be affected. Instead, if we accept that some things are not in our hands and we just have to let them go, then our life can be much easier and happier. When we cling to our old pains, they keep breaking us from inside. Someone may have said bad things to us in childhood, a friend may have betrayed us, or we may have suffered in a relationship. We keep carrying these things with us for years. But do they really help us, or do they just become a burden on our heart and mind? The truth is that as long as we hold on to our old wounds, new wounds will keep forming. Therefore, to lighten ourselves and keep our hearts and minds open, we have to learn to forgive and move on. It is not necessary that you forgive the other person and get connected with them again in the same way, but it is very important to let go of that pain for your own good. Many of us keep ourselves attached to a certain identity. We think that we should always look strong, perfect, or a certain way. If we fail in a particular exam, we start considering ourselves losers. If we are not able to succeed in a relationship, then we feel that there is something wrong inside us, something lacking. But this thinking limits us. Our real identity is not determined by a single failure or success. Rather, we can mold ourselves in a new way every day. If we start seeing ourselves with a flexible identity, that is, if we are ready to adopt change, then our life can be much more beautiful and easy. The best way to understand ourselves better is that we are happy with our feelings and things. What makes us sad? When we are angry, is there any unfulfilled desire in us that is not getting fulfilled? Paying attention to these questions helps us to know ourselves. The more we understand ourselves, the more we will be able to understand about our life. This will make it easier for us to decide which things we need to control and which things should just be left. When we learn to let go of control, it does not mean that we leave our life on its own and do not make any effort. It means that we focus on those things which are in our control and let go of the rest. If something is not in your hand, then do not bother yourself by worrying about it. There is no use in trying to stop the rain. The best example of this is that if it is raining, you cannot stop it, but you can go out with an umbrella. Similarly, if a person is not living up to your expectations, then instead of trying to change them, you can adjust your expectations. Many times we keep hurting ourselves in our desire for perfection. We feel that we should always do everything in the right way, but this is not possible. Mistakes are a part of human nature, and we should learn to forgive ourselves for these mistakes. If we keep cursing ourselves for every mistake, then we will never be able to reach our full potential. Knowing yourself and letting go of control both go together. When you understand yourself better, then you are able to know which things are important for you and which have just become a burden. If something is making you sad again and again, then letting it go is the best way. It is not easy, but when you start doing it, a new energy comes into your life. The most important thing in this whole process is to trust yourself. If you believe in yourself, then you will be able to forgive yourself. If you have faith, then you will not be affected much by external things. You will know that you are on the right path and the rest of the things will be fine automatically. Life will not always go according to your plan, but if you understand yourself and know how to let go of control, then you can be happy in every situation. The biggest thing in our life that troubles us is our own thoughts and emotions. Many times we get entangled in our own thoughts and start labeling them good or bad. But have you ever thought what will happen if we look at our thoughts and feelings without any judgment? This is a way by which we can make our mind more calm, clear, and balanced. This is called non-judgmental observation. That is, when we look at ourselves and our feelings without any judgment. Then our first reaction is to call it good or bad. If we are getting happiness, then we consider it good, and if a sad thought comes, then we consider it bad. But in this whole process, we start getting entangled with our thoughts and emotions. Sometimes it happens that we sit holding on to a negative thought and keep thinking about it again and again, which affects our mental health. But if we just look at it as an observer without judging it, then that thought will come and go without disturbing us. Suppose you are sitting on the bank of a river and water is flowing. Now, some dry leaves are flowing with the water. Some flowers can also come and sometimes garbage too. What will happen if you start holding on to everything? You will get entangled and disturbed. But if you just watch it flowing without thinking anything, without holding on to anything, then what will happen? You will remain calm. This is the method we have to adopt with our thoughts and emotions. Just watch them come and go without saying whether they are good or bad. This sounds easy to hear, but in reality, it is a bit difficult to do because our mind is habitual. Whenever a thought comes, it immediately puts it in a category: this is good, this is bad, this is a matter of worry, this is a matter of happiness. But when we practice non-judgmental observation, we teach our mind to see things just as they are. If a thought comes in your mind that, I am not able to do anything special, or, people do not appreciate me, then generally you will consider it a negative thought, and then you will start thinking about it. You may get sad or angry. But if you see it as just a thought and not as a truth, then it will not bother you, it will just come and go like a cloud. The same thing applies to emotions as well. Many times we feel anger, sadness, fear, or embarrassment, and we consider it bad and try to suppress it or start avoiding it. But this makes that emotion stronger. If you just observe it, let it come and go by itself, then it will not bother you much. Non-judgmental observation helps a lot in our emotional regulation. When we learn to see our emotions without any judgment, then we can control them in a better way. For example, if you are feeling angry in a situation, then usually two things happen. Either you get carried away in that anger and do something that you regret later, or you try to suppress it, due to which it keeps smoldering inside. But if you just look at this anger and say, oh, right now I am feeling angry, without saying whether this is good or bad, then that anger will gradually start reducing. This kind of observation also improves our decision-making. When our mind is clear and we take a decision without getting entangled in our emotions, then it is more correct. Suppose you have to take a big decision regarding a relationship, but you get carried away in a lot of feelings inside, then it is possible that you take an emotional decision which may not be right in the long run. But if you just remain an observer, then feelings lessen and it will be right. This is a kind of mental exercise and it is necessary to practice it daily. If you want to adopt it, then there are some easy ways. Mindful breathing. Whenever a lot of thoughts are going on in your mind, just focus on your breathing for a few minutes without thinking about whether they are good or bad. Just watch them come and go. Journaling. Sometimes you make yourself feel less. When you write, you do not understand what you are feeling, and then you also realize that it is just a thought or emotion, not the truth. Nature observation. Going out and watching nature is also a good practice. When you observe the changing colors in the sky, the movement of trees, or the chirping of birds without any label, your mind starts to calm down. Meditation. Meditating for 10 to 15 minutes every day, in which you just practice observing your thoughts, is very beneficial. You do not have to do anything in this, just sit and try to observe the thoughts coming to your mind without giving any label. When we practice non-judgmental observation, we gradually realize that we are not our thoughts and emotions. They are just a temporary experience that comes and goes. This brings more peace into our life, our mental health improves, and we become more able to take decisions wisely. So, the next time when a thought or emotion comes, instead of holding on to it, just watch it as if you were watching a movie. Don't judge it, don't give it your own meaning, just observe it. When you do this, you will feel a different kind of freedom and peace.